The only reason that the Xia Empire had not fallen was because, as the king of Qinghai, Yuan Yue opened up another front. The instant that Yuan Yue leaves, how could Yuan Che alone face the onslaught of Yan Bei? In the first place, Wei was plagued by an internal power struggle, and each power is trying to grab the most power for themselves. Yuan Yang is not someone satisfied to remain someone else's command. The instant that the Wei Empire is conquered, we have lost our North Em buffer. By then, we will face Yan Bei from the west through the waterway of the southern borders and the land forces of Yan Bei from the north. Also, to our east, there is Nalan Hongye, who is a long-standing ally of Yan Bel. Not only that, with internal forces like the king of Jinggan, Zhou Yun, trying to usurp power, how could the Tang Empire survive? Tai Yu was completely stunned. Sun Di continued. In the battle with the king of Luo, the Tang Empire had lost much. After His Majesty left, there was a multitude of powers within the country wishing to take the throne. If the West Meng continent remained in such a divided state, we would still be safe. However, once Yan Bei manages to defeat the Xia Empire, that will be the doomsday for Tang. We owe much gratitude to His Majesty, and now that he is no longer around, do you think I can sit and watch the entire Tang Empire be destroyed? Even then, you should not have killed Empress Yuan. Ultimately, she was the concubine of His Majesty and was the young emperor's mother. Tai Yu's face was completely red as he bellowed. She is but a useless woman. Sun Di snorted in disdain as he bellowed. As of now, the only way for us to survive is to ensure somehow that the Wei Empire can survive. If we are unable to annihilate the Song Empire before Yan Bei defeats the Wei Empire, we will certainly fall into a deadly trap. As he said that, a trace of passion and zeal could be seen in his eyes. Turning around, Sun Di glared deep into Tu eyes as he bellowed with a low voice. As long as Master Chu stays even one more day in the Liang Empire, Yuan Yue will delay his return to Qinghai. As long as he does not leave, Yan Shun cannot afford to send all his forces to attack Yanming Pass, in fear of infiltration from Guiwei Pass. As long as the Wei Empire remains, the Liang Empire will have time to revitalize, and considering Master Chu and her relationships with Yuan Yue and Yan Shun, we will obtain some form of support from those two powers. And in the future, if any internal powers wish to seize power, they must consider how Yuan Yue and Yan Shun would respond. With that, the young emperor's power could be consolidated. And even if King of Jinggan wishes to bond things to his will, he needs to consider the potential repercussions. In the first place, the Zhuli army possesses extraordinary fighting prowess and loyalty, and is in no way inferior to His Majesty's elite wolf army, and would be the prime choice for the bodyguard of the emperor. In addition, Master Chu herself is a person of exceptional military and political talent, and as a woman she has little to none of those passion or desire for power. We can get such a suitable person like her to assist our emperor. Can you ever find a second person like her? Tai Yu was utterly dumbfounded by his colleague, as he looked on as though they were strangers. Sun Di looked at him and said calmly, "If you want to see the entire Liang Empire crumble to dust, if you want to be an eternal sinner of Liang, you can tell others what I just said to you. We are comrades after all. I won't blame you for your narrow-mindedness. It's my fault that my thoughts can't be understood by everyone. But do you want General Chu? Aren't you ruining her happiness?" Sun Di shook his head and laughed as he patted Tai Yu's shoulder. Although I believe that General Chu has no ambition, I have to guard against her. If Yuan Yue marries her in future, do I expect the wife of the king of Qinghai to supervise the country's issues? The moonlight shone bright in the sky as the man turned around to leave. His resigned voice drifted from afar, carrying a few hints of dreariness. How can the empire be ruled by a woman who is benevolent? The abyss is deep. No one wants to go there. Let me wander there myself. The crescent moon hung high up in the sky as the autumn winds swept across the land, scattering sycamore leaves onto the ground. It was a lonely sight. Mihei residence was still as cold as ever. However, it had become the most lively part of all of Jinwu Palace. There were still people walking about. It was rumored that even birds did not want to stop at other places in Jinwu Palace. Jinwu Palace had become a quiet place. There was no longer any festivities, banquets, blue-eyed Donghu dancers, or singing through the night. The palace fell into a state of isolation. Even the nightingales deserted the palace. Sounds of one's own breath could even be heard as one walked across the palace. Everyone carried on with their lives quietly, seemingly trying not to startle the lingering souls with any loud movements. Pieces of white cloth were draped around the entire palace, covering up the glamour and extravagance that this place used to possess. Every single thing in this place was crying out for that person, including the sycamore trees, clear waters, every single building, courtyard, and man-made mountain. The emperor had just fallen asleep on Chu Qiao's bed. That day, he had witnessed his mother, Empress Yuan, commit suicide. From then on, he had not had a good night's sleep. He frowned tightly as he slept, seemingly in a fearful state, even in his dreams. The king of Rong lay in another crib as he slept soundly, a smile on the edges of his lips. He resembled his father. Chu Qiao sat in front of the window as she did not feel tired. A white candle burned in the background, providing a dim source of light. A tinge of red was visible under the candlelight. She held a thick pile of unopened letters in her hands. Just like that, she sat there for over 4 hours. Sun Di's words flashed across her mind once again. She turned around and looked at the two familiar faces of the young children as she felt stunned. "What a cunning fellow," Chu Qiao mumbled to herself as she smiled. She thought of the man's expression the last time that he said those words. This person was undeniably intelligent and was able to read anyone's mind. However, how could he have been unable to read her mind? Was Yuan Yue going to be angry at her? What was written in those letters? Would he scold her, resent her, or nag her? Perhaps he was going to do all of that. Suddenly, she recalled the words he told her that night. Under the moonlight, as the trees swayed, he turned around, looked at her with his handsome face, and asked slowly, "The journey has not ended. There might be changes along the way. Are you afraid?" Back then, the winds were gentle while the weather was warm. Her sleeves appeared like butterflies, flying in the air as it was swept by the winds. She put aside all her feelings of apprehension, laughed at him, and said that she was not afraid. Then, he gave a gentle smile. It was a gesture rarely seen of him. It had no awkwardness, no spitefulness, and no intention of bickering. It was a heartfelt smile. Under the moonlight, he lowered his head and planted a kiss on the side of her lips as he placed his hand on her back, absorbing every ounce of her fragrance and living in this beautiful moment that he had dreamt of for many years. Time had been an everlasting obstacle that had gotten in their way. However, their relationship withstood the test of time, as it remained strong all these years. She reached out her hand and crumpled the letters, placing them on top of the candlelight. The sparks of fire engulfed the letters as they turned to a pile of ash. There were still too many pairs of eyes in this deserted palace. When Sun Di arrived the next day, Chu Qiao had dolled herself up.